Welcome to Pushing Cardboard. I'm Grant Lindeberg, and today we're going to be taking a look at the latest game from Vuca, Mirages. This is by Dirk Blenneman, and it's a game. It's a game that's he's got a few other games in the system. The one on Gazala, Crossing the Line, and another one I think about the Bug River, something like that. I can't remember. I've got the second two, just not the first one. Anyway, this new one. Mirages. This is another one in the desert, but this time it's a little different in that we're going to get four games in a single box here. So it's what I sort of imagine. Who knows? We'll find out in the playing. But what I sort of imagine it's going to be like is we're going to get sort of four slightly smaller games using the same this basically the same series that Dirk's used in the previous games in this series. Anyway, this is they rate it still as a complexity 7, which that's sort of about, I'd rate the other ones a 6 or a 7, so that makes sense. But quite a high solitaire suitability with a rating of 8. Anyway, it comes in your slightly thicker than the old AH style box, but your basic bookcase style box. So anyway, let's dive right in and see what we have here. Vuca sent me this as a pre-release copy to have a look at and talk about. So thanks to Vuca for that. I'm imagining I'm going to like this game because I've liked the previous other two in the series. So anyway, here we go. It's got the same sort of slightly linen finish to the box that lots of their other games do. So it's kind of beautiful that way. Here we go. So what do we have here? First up we have, looks right, game specific rules. So this is specific rules. Is this just for one of them? I'm not sure. It says Formation Series number 1, game-specific rules. Well, we'll come back to that. But here we have Formation Series, the core rules. So it looks like they're going. If this is the same sort of, if this is the same basic system that they used in those previous games, it looks like they're going to a core rule book and a series rule book, and then. Game-specific rule books, like OCS or BCS or games like that do. The rule book looks good. Like Vuca's rule books always look good. 2-column, lots of color, lots of examples. What do we got here? It's 28 pages long, but there's an index and examples of play. We have some designer's notes. Publisher's notes, transitions to series rules, consistency across games. Wow, let's have a look at that. Basically, it just talks about why they're going to series rules. Well, that all makes sense. We all know the pros and cons of series rules. Series rules are great as long as the game-specific rules aren't too thick. But this is like this game-specific rules is, it's 5 pages, so no problem there. I'm guessing there's not going to be a full 4 map boards because I think some of these situations are going to occur on the same board. So how much of that can we see? A fair bit. We can see that this first board, it's as you can see, not a paper map. We got a full cardboard board here, and it goes from basically just west of Bardia over to City Barani. So one or two of the scenarios is going to take place here. Let's see. Try and give you a bit of a closer look so you can get a feeling for what the the map looks good. The colors look good, and the whole layout of it looks good. I quite like that. So who knows? Maybe the whole thing takes place on just one map. That's probably possible. We're looking at operations Compass, Brevity, Battleaxe, and Skorpion. So they may all take place on this side of the map. Maybe nothing goes over. Maybe none of those operations go over towards El Alamein and whatnot. We got a couple of 10-siders, turn tracks for each game has its own turn track. So 4 turn tracks. Player's aid card here. We have sequence of play, action, procedure. Oh, they're a trifold turnout. You see that. So we've got the combat results table. Oh, the combat. Oh, yeah. Sequence of play and then a combat sequence. So combat has its own sort of dedicated sequence. Victory conditions. Well, anyway, so there's and it's this paper. It's a thicker than usual cardboard, and it's kind of a treated coated paper. It feels great actually. It's typical of Vuca to go the extra 9 yards on a component. So similar thing, and then counters, and like most Vuca games, maybe even all Vuca games, these counters come pre-rounded, easy to punch out. Don't need to get the old nail clipper or Oregon laminations. I hope that's coming into focus here. Yeah, it is. There we go. So you can see that they always, the counters are about as colorful as I like them. I don't like anything with much more color than this. But you see the important stuff. The numbers on the shapes on the bottom are really easy to see. Here's the only ones I don't like. The one thing I don't like about this system is that it's kind of the multiple step loss system. So it's not really steps. It's like damage points almost. So these markers, a unit might start out with 6 or 8 possible points of damage and go slowly down. So that it's a much, I get why he wants to do it. It's a much finer grained control over damage. But I still, it makes for a bit of counter clutter. That's all. These are interesting. If you haven't played the game before, these little chits you pull during combat, and so you get variable multipliers, and it's just a different way of doing it than your standard. Just do it all on a roll on a table. There's a chit pull to combat as well. And then here we have, looks like we can have 4 setup cards. Oh, and these are on that same, it's super thick coated paper. It feels like if you spilt a drink on this, it wouldn't soak in. That's the best way I can sort of describe the feeling of the paper. It's coated so that it feels like it might be spill proof. Here's Operation Brevity startup. Operation Compass. This looks like a big one. And there we go. So yeah, I was correct that it's all 4 games use the same map board. Yeah, I just wanted to give you another look at that map. So, yeah, there it is. That's Mirages from Vuca Games. This is, like I said, designer Dirk Blenneman. and something there called Formation Series #1. I enjoyed their game on Gazala and the West Front game, Crossing the Line. So I'm really looking forward to this, especially as at least a couple of these look to be smaller affairs that, fingers crossed, maybe you could get finished in an evening or something. So there it is. Look for it soon. Thanks again to Vuca for letting me have an early look. This is Mirages from Vuca Games. I'm Grant Lindeberg for Pushing Cardboard. Please check out our Discord server. You can see a link to it from our website. Drop by the Discord. There's usually somebody there talking war games. See you next time.